Hey, I'm Mike Lemon with ISTT's Work From Home series. We're talking today with Art McFadden about access data and security. Art, what are we talking about today specifically?
Now, okay, so you're working from home. You're going to have to access your data. The question is, where's this data and how are you getting to it? And are you doing it securely? Uh, we're going to touch on ransomware and a few other threats that you need to be aware of. I'm sure at a later episode we'll probably do one just on ransomware. But that's one of the first things that comes to mind is when I think about accessing data is, are we accessing it securely? Is it staying secure wherever it is? And who can get to it? So let's talk about that for just a second. When we talk about data integrity, there's a couple of things we need to consider. Can we get to it? If you're telling me that's my job to work on that project and I can't access it, I failed, right? What, what good is it you sending me home with a laptop if I can't do anything with it? So then next question is, can we make it so only the authorized individuals can get to it? And then the last thing about when we talk about data is the integrity of data. Can we make sure only authorized people either can change it, or if they are authorized to change it, what did they change on it? We keeping track of those types of things. So those are the basic things when I think about data security.
Yeah, I've done some work from home, obviously, and in my office here. And probably the most secure way is just to put it on a thumb drive, take it home, work on it, and then bring it back. As far as on a thumb drive, no, before you get on a thumb drive, hold on. I'm talking about as far as being intercepted by anybody, be seen by anybody else. But even that is a problem because if I may have a version of it on my desktop here at the office, then I have a version of it on my laptop, and now I don't know which version is the most current version, or maybe things can get jumbled up, and even that's a pain in the butt. So how what's kind of the big things people need to know about as far as be concerned about with working from home and their data security?
The first thing need to do is have a game plan beforehand. If you've not had this conversation with your employer, then you need to. If you're the employer, you need to start doing recent research and figuring out how you want to do it. Online drives have become very popular, but what I want to caution people about those is just because it's online does not mean it does not need to be backed up in another manner. And also, just because it's an online type drive does not mean it can't get hit with ransomware. And ransomware, very briefly, is a threat that makes your data where you can't get to it. It's all gibberish, and you got to pay the bad guy in untraceable funds to get your data back. A lot of people have got a misconception of, oh, I'm using this product as my online drive. Does not necessarily mean automatically you're safe. So you got to have a game plan ahead of time. How are you and your colleagues going to work on whatever you're responsible for?
All right, Art. So most people are working remotely. Their data is not sitting on their computer. Their data is not sitting at their desktop. It's usually a lot of times in a shared drive, like you talked about, either online as far as like even Google Drive, or on the company servers. So what are some ways that they should be doing? If they're not doing, they need to talk to their IT company about, or their IT people about ensuring that happens, to make sure that that data is secured no matter where they work from.
Right. You make some great points there, Mike. We'll have to talk about this at length in a different time. But if it's on your laptop and it's just protected with a password, it's not encrypted, that's not real secure, because if your laptop gets lost, it's very easy to circumvent passwords unless the data is actually encrypted on the drive itself. So we got to worry about it's on our laptop in our house, or even it's not residing on the laptop. Is that laptop secured to where you can't get into it and recover my ability to get into my own online drive? So that's something we need to worry about. One of the basic things to keep in mind is strong passwords. That's one of the first things we need to educate users on is, I love UK or UK blue. Those are not good passwords. And it is not a human being guessing your password. It's a machine doing it very, very quickly. So we need to have strong passwords, long passwords that are complex. And then another thing, Mike, and this is getting common, not just in business, but even us as consumers. Forget about us as employees. Is dual factor authentication or two-factor authentication. That may be I want to type in my username and password, and then I've got to look at my phone and get my text message because they just sent me a 4-digit code. Now, yeah, there's a security risks on everything I just said, but strong passwords and dual factor authentication are definitely not bad things to implement immediately.
Yeah, very, very good point. What about as we're opening back up, people are going to different places, people are traveling a little bit, uh, using Wi-Fi's, open Wi-Fi's.
Okay, there's a specific threat called man in the middle attack, and that's where you think you're connected to one resource, usually like a wireless access point. Maybe it's your guest wireless access point, and your hotel has set up free Wi-Fi for you. Now, when you connect to that free Wi-Fi, depending on how well you're paying attention, you may accidentally attach to a bad guy's wireless access point, and then they may attempt to get that data. So how do you prevent that from happening? It's called a VPN, a virtual private network. But now you don't want to just spend money on VPNs that you saw a commercial for just on TV. Uh, Things to consider with that are who actually has that data, what country is that VPN based out of. And I'm going to recommend that you get with your IT personnel and have them set up their own company VPN if they don't already have one. That is the safest solution, is do it yourself. And if you can't, then you need
So if someone doesn't know what a VPN is, essentially, in the end result, however things are going to work, I can be, say I'm at Starbucks and I connect to their Wi-Fi. My That Wi-Fi will allow me, it's in Starbucks, to connect back to my business, and that internet, that traffic that I'm actually it's going to look like I'm sitting in my office using the computer. So even though I may be connected on a Wi-Fi, even though there may be people in there watching, trying to see what I'm doing, trying to get passwords, trying to get credit cards, those different things, that particular tunnel from my computer to my office, they can't see that because it's encrypted.
That's correct. It's got to be set up very carefully, and that's what a virtual private network. That's exactly what it's talking about.
And I think
Is
that's
making
a huge point that a lot of people I don't hear them talking about is the use of that, because most people think, oh, I'm just using it from my home. Even from your home, who knows what your kids are doing, what you're doing, and other people are doing on the network, and what viruses are in your home. When you just log on to your office, then your business is susceptible to those viruses. Compared to if you log on, doesn't matter where you're at, your home, a hotel, a coffee shop, whatever, through a VPN, you actually the security there is unmatched for using your computer remotely.
absolutely. But we got to talk about that machine itself, and actually, that brings up a great point. Our next video, I plan on describing the device management itself, and that'll be one of the things we discuss. Is
Well, that's a
that,
great segue to the next one, and we're going to wrap
yep.
this one up here as part 3 to the ISTT's work from home series. And next one is going to be device management. We'll see you here, and Art, I'll see you there too.
Thanks.